Welcome back, Upcyclists, to another episode of this journey of our renovation. It's getting cold, the days are getting short, and the nights are long.
Can you see this? It's red. It's pretty cool.
But it's going well, so we wanted to share with you what we've been up to the last couple of weeks. So one of the projects that we were working in is plugging all the holes in our floor. So if you would have heard from a previous video, after we removed all the carpet and a layer of linoleum, we found a beautiful original wood floor, softwood, not hardwood, and we decided to keep it. One of the problems with the current floor, the wood floor, is that there was quite a few holes that had been either cut by the factory or just added over the 50 years. So I measured the size of each of the holes. I think there was probably 8 or 9 plugs that needed to be made. I traced it onto the plank that I was using to recreate the holes, cut it out with the jigsaw, and then using the belt sander, sanded it down so I could get the right shape. Today I'm creating plugs for the floor. This trailer came with some special features. One of them is a lot of holes everywhere, the floor and the ceiling. So today I'm going to try and build a plug for this one. Not quite. So I think we're just gonna go back to the sander, take a bit more off the edges and see if we can get it just a tad bit smaller. Okay, that fits. Perfect. Now we need to glue it.
And I think the result is it's like new. One stain, you don't even see it in the floor. It looks like it's never been there.
So that leads to the next step of our project, which was then sanding and refinishing the floor. I sanded the floor with, I think, 150 and then went over it again with 220 till I got a really great smooth finish and tried to bring out a lot of the original wood grain, and then put a medium brown finish on it and stained it, and it turned out great. We're really happy with the results. You guessed it, more sanding. So we give this whole thing a sand with 150, 180 grit. Go over it again, and picked up some stain today, so hopefully we can get that on tonight. So that's the floor, said and done. Floor is all done, and now it's completely covered up with layers of sheets and cardboard so that nobody wrecks our brand new, restored, 50-year-old wood
I would
floor.
say upcycle.
It's an upcycle.
One of my job was to work on the holes in the aluminum. The trailer had a lot of holes. One was for the water supply, one was for your water hookup, one was for your electricity, one for I don't know what. And some were factory made, some were not. I think we had 4 or 5 big ones. Like I mean like this. And so one approach that we picked was to put an aluminum sheet from the inside to cover the hole, and then put some bondo on the outside, and then sand it. I've also took on plugging all the little holes that we have everywhere, from nails, screws, or dents.
Little tears in the aluminum.
Yeah, little tears. And
What are you working on?
Plugging holes. We had 3 holes in our aluminum that were done by previous owners, and we're not going to use them. So I have to find a way to put a sheet of aluminum on this side, and then on the other side, maybe some fiberglass or bondo or something.
So I just want to give you an overall of the different products I've used to patch this trailer, and I'm not sponsored by Bondo or 3M. This is what I found in Princess Auto. So this is what I used. Plastic metal, and I used this one to fill the small holes when I started. I don't really recommend this one. I found that it crumbled pretty easily if there's any shock to the metal. Bigger holes, I started with, what is this? It's called steel stick. It's a paste that you mix with your fingers, and you just press it like a chewing gum in the hole. This is pretty strong. It's hard to sand. So you can start with this, but you're gonna need something else afterwards. So I moved on to fiberglass. We had a few holes that required, like maybe this size, required a really strong filler. So I used this bondo hair. Basically it has hair in it. It's pretty gross. It smells terrible. And the way it works is you open it. Well, one is open. You open this, you put that on the little plate, and then you put your hardener on it, you mix it up, and with your putty tape you go and put it in the hole. So this does a great job with big holes. The problem is it just does not give you a nice smooth finish. So for the nice finish, I use that bondo glass. It's still very strong, still fiberglass. But again, for somebody who's very detailed, like I was not satisfied with the smooth finish, but that does a great job with small holes. It says here, this is the long strand, and here this is the short strand. What I understood is this is for smaller holes, this is for bigger holes. And then I used the classic bondo body filler to apply a nice finish, and then sand it. This sands very well, and any little dent, any little crack, small holes in your first layers of bondo, this will fill it up pretty quickly. But it's very easy to use, and you just need a really good sander or a lot of patience.
was it was the first time I worked with bondo or aluminum or anything like that. So it's definitely a process.
During this renovation, we've created relationship with all the hardware stores around here, and I'm just back on another run, bringing stuff back, buying more stuff. See you soon.
Finally getting to the stage where we can focus on some of the interior stuff, which I'm much more excited about. So we had picked up all during the last couple of months pieces of foam from leftover couches and beds and mattresses, still in good condition, but that people had thrown out. So we are upcycling all that foam because foam is very expensive. So we had, I think, 7, 8 or 9 cushions, I can't remember, that we cut out, traced, cut to the right size using a bread knife, very handy for cutting foam. And then we do the same measurements on the fabric. Sewing of the cushions probably took a couple of days, but the end product is looking really great, and I am so excited for the point when we will have a bench and seat to put these cushions on. So today we are taking a very welcome break from working on the metal and sanding and framing to work on the cushions. So I did a floor plan of the trailer, switching the dimensions of the seats and benches just slightly. So I have a little rough draft here of the size of the foam that I'm going to cut. So I'm going to lay it all out, measure it, cut my pieces, and then we'll go from there, start wrapping it. So let's get cutting. Well, just with all the work that we've been doing in the last couple of weeks, which we've described to you, the good news of all that is that we think we're going to be really close to being ready to paint now that a lot of the metal work is done.
Yep. I mean, it's good. It's almost winter here, so even though we work on it almost every day, well, it's a slow process.
But we also need to decide what color we should paint our little Jeanette. So if anyone has any suggestions on which color or colors they think our wonderful Jeanette would look like in her new 50-year-old face makeover.
Yeah, give us suggestions. We are open. Probably some white in there, just throwing it out there. But
so stay tuned, and we might have a painted trailer. Looking forward to hearing what colors you suggest.
See you next time.